Hey guys, Sunblaze here. Welcome to week number 8 of the Minecraft Sim League. So this week is week number 2 of cycle number 2, which means we are once again doing Disparchery like we did in week number 2. Let's real quick take a look at the current standings. The Chargers, of course, hold in a demanding lead, a commanding lead rather, as they will until the end of this cycle, most likely. Tridents are in second, jump up to second with 25 points. Flyers in third with 21 and a half. Then we got the Edge and the Bone Bows on 21. The Savannah Cats dropping down to sixth on 20 and a half. The Violets 17 and a half. The Sniffers 16, and that is our top 8 with the Copper Golems and the the Copper Golems and the Detonators rounding out the top 10. My Sunrays currently in second to last on 4.5, and the Gapplers in last on 2.5. But the Sunrays should have more luck this week as I am wearing my jersey, and I realize I haven't been doing that recently, and that could be um, the reason why we've been losing, because every time I've worn my jersey, we haven't lost. So that is the recap there. And then, of course, if you want your team to be in the Sim League, all you got to do is, post a 1 or 2 word comment down below. I'll know what you mean if it sounds, dramatic enough or whatever. I don't know. Or you could just say that that's your team suggestion. I'll accept anything basically because we're almost halfway through the season and we've only got 2 out of the 24 we need. But thank you to these 2 who have already made teams. And if you want a team, all you got to do is comment. So um, you don't even really have to subscribe. Although I'd appreciate it. I appreciate it when you subscribe. So if you like this video and you want to see more, just make sure to like and subscribe. And let's just get right into it. Starting off with our matches for today. We got Disparchery. So match number 1 is the Jockeys versus the Chargers. Then we've got the Dogpack taking on the Flyers. Then we have the Undead against the Copper Golems. We have the Bucketheads against the Tridents. We have the Sunrays taking on the Bone Bows. We have the Gapplers up against the Whitewoods. We have the Hivemind against the Phantoms. The Lush Dwellers against the Edge. We have the Detonators against the Pillagers. The Savannah Cats taking on the Cherries. The Diamondeers versus the Royal Hogs. And finally, the Sniffers versus the Violets. So without any more chipper chapper chitter chatter, let's get right into matchup number 1 of week number 8, which is the Jockeys versus the Chargers. And if you don't remember how this works, basically I'm gonna flick this lever 4 times. It's gonna both of the dispensers are gonna shoot out 4 arrows, one on the blue team, on the blue team and on the red team, so 4 each for them. And then the colored wood like this is worth 1, hay bales are 2, and the target blocks are 3 points. And it's basically whoever scores the most wins. And I will do that 4 times because there are 16 arrows each. And yeah, basically highest score wins. This is my video assistant referee if I need to get a close look at something. If it's on the line, that means it's whichever one is bigger. So that is what it is, and sometimes I have to look real close at it. So let's just get right into match number 1, the Jockeys against the Chargers. Here we go with our first 4 shots. And it looks like the Chargers have got 2 threes there. That's pretty good. The Jockeys only getting 1. Is that one there? Is it in the target? It's kind of difficult to tell from this angle. Does not look like it's touching the target there. That one in the back, and then this one obviously in the ground. So that is 3, 6, 8 points. And then over here we have 5, 6 points. So there we go. I got my scoreboard up, and now we are ready to get right back into it. Don't know why I paused so long there, but it looks like the Chargers might, sorry, that's the Jockeys might have a little bit of a comeback here. And I think I miscounted. I think the Jockeys are supposed to have 6, and the Chargers are supposed to have 8. So this is correcting that. It's a 8-pointer for the Jockeys, and then only 5 points here for the Chargers. So the Jockeys will take the lead, although it is by a narrow margin. Let's continue here. There's a bullseye for the Jockeys once again. 7 points for them. And only 4 here. There's only 1, 2, and then 2 ones for the Chargers. So the Chargers, the league leaders, they're falling behind here against the Jockeys. But of course, they still have a chance to come back here in the 4th quarter of shots. They need some good shots here. There's a bullseye, but there's a bunch. Is that three target block shots for the Jockeys? That is surely going to finish out. That's 11 points right there for the Jockeys. Very impressive. And not much here, including another shot into the ground for the Chargers. So that is going to end it for them. The Jockeys will win. So the Jockeys with the win here with a pretty good score as well. 32 to the Chargers, 22. Let's check real quick what our highest scores were for Disparchery last cycle. Our gold medalist is down here, and they scored 33. So Jockeys 32 points, pretty good. They scored the bronze medal, 31 points last time. So 32 for the Dogpacks. The Phantoms also getting 31. That is an oversight by me. 31, even with the loss, it's the same amount of points. So they should get a bronze unless there was something in the rules about also you have to win. If there's a tie, the winner gets it or something. Probably something like that. Maybe it's not an oversight. We're just going to roll with it. And call that good. So yeah, 33. So a 32-point game for the Jockeys here. Pretty good to start us off, and let's get right back into it with matchup number 2, which is the Dogpack up against the Flyers. And a little bit of opposites here. The red team being in blue and the blue team being in red, but that's okay. Definitely won't confuse us at all as we get into our first 4 shots. It's pretty good from the Dogpack. That is, you see how that catches the edge there? That is a 3-pointer there. And then also a 3-pointer for the Flyers, and they've got 3 more beside. So 8-6 is the score after the first quarter. Let's get right back into it. For our next round of shots, no one's hit the ground yet. Pretty impressive. Is that a 2? It might be, but since we can't see it visually, that's only a 1. That's obviously a 1, 3. Oh, that is hitting the ground. Never mind. I jinxed it. Or I didn't, I guess, because it was already in the ground, but I didn't see it. That is a 2. That's a 2. That is a 1. So we got 6 points for the Flyers, doubling their score. And only 5 more for the Dogpack. So ever so slightly here, the Flyers are going to catch up. We're halfway through this thing. Flyers only down by 1 as we continue into the third quarter. That's a shot into the ground from the Dogpack. Not what they needed at all. Only 3 points from them, and 2 bullseyes from the Flyers will take the lead here. So the Flyers going to take a commanding lead now as we go into the 4th quarter, but the Dogpack could still pull it back if the Flyers bottle it. That's shot in the ground, not good. 2 points, that's a 3, so 6 points for the Dogpack. Flyers, of course, will take the W then. That's 2 points, which was enough to keep the tie, and then obviously 3 points enough to take the win. So 25 for the Flyers, pretty good. Probably not good enough for a medal, but good nonetheless as they will take the win over the Dogpack by a scoreline of 21 to 25. Very impressive from them. Oops, that's the wrong buttons there. All right. So the Flyers taking the silver medal for now. Well, I guess. Oh, I'm counting wrong. Okay. Yeah, the Flyers taking the silver medal for now. We will see if they can hold on to that. Likely not, but you never know. So let's just get right back into it with matchup number 3, which is the Undead against the Copper Golems. So here we go for matchup number 3. Starting off strong here. I thought I'd done 5 for a second, but wow. Oh my goodness. Copper Golems off to a 10-4 start. Like, that's pretty close to ideal for the Copper Golems. They're going to get off to a 6-point lead. Going into the second quarter. Don't want to say it already looks lost, but that is more poor shots from the Undead. And I've just realized I've done the scoreboard wrong again. I feel, my apologies. That is only 3 shots, 1 into the dirt for them. And the Copper Golems scoring another is at 7 here. So, and they could even be looking for a medal, the Copper Golems. So they are now up by 10 at halftime. And now they've got their first bullseye and first 2-pointer as well. So Copper Golems only able to scrape together 4 points there. But that is not enough if they want to get back in this game. The Copper Golems were on pace for a medal, but that is not going to go their way now. That, wow, look at that margin there. Just a couple of pixels in the 3-pointer there. So that is 3, 6, 8, 9 points for the Undead, which is not enough to defeat the Copper Golems, who scored, that being in the target, 3, 5, 6, 7. So the Copper Golems get the win here, 28. Oops, not enough space. 28 to the Undead's 22, taking the silver medal away from the Flyers. And let's just try to get this done as soon as possible. I'm a little stressed on time, but not that much. Although it would be nice to finish in a reasonable amount of time. So let's just get right back into it. And it's matchup number 4, the Bucketheads against the Tridents. So now we've got them lined up and ready to go for the first quarter of match number 4. Tridents getting off to a strong start here. 2 bullseyes right there, along with a 2 and a 1. So 3 for 9 points for them, sorry. And then that, oh my goodness, that is just a 1. So 3, 4, 5. So Trident's getting off to a strong lead here. I believe they are in second in the league, so this is going to help them out quite a bit if they can get another win here, especially if they can get it with a medal. So the Tridents up by 4, and they might extend it here. If that was a 3, which it's not, that's only 4 points for the Tridents, so the Bucketheads right back in this game here. And at the halfway mark, Tridents leading, but only by 2. And that's a couple more target blocks there for the Bucketheads. So they're going to score 9 points here. Meanwhile, the Tridents only getting, 5 here. Wow. So the Bucketheads are going to take the lead. Maybe I shouldn't talk about the teams that way. I can jinx them a little bit. So stop picking up all these teams. Tridents only scoring 5 points. Bucketheads taking the lead. But it's still anyone's game going into the final 4 shots. And it looks fairly even. That shot in the dirt might hurt the Tridents. And that is a 2-pointer, and that is not. So 5, 7. And that is only 6 points for the Tridents. So the Bucketheads are going to take the win. And they will do it with a score of 27 to 24. Tridents still close in the end, but not enough to take the win. And that will be the bronze medal now for the Bucketheads. Flyers dropping out. Although with 33, 32, 31 last week, we're probably going to see that again. So, but yeah, at least maybe the Flyers are higher up than Dogpack, but the top 2 teams at least have fallen now this week. So let's continue with matchup number 5, which is my Sunrays taking on the Bonebows. And you may think I might be worried because the Bonebows, of course, skeletons are supposed to be good at shooting arrows, but the Bonebows did lose their first cycle Disparcher game, and the Sunrays did not. So, statistics say that we'll lose this time because that would make even. Statistics always even. Whatever. Sports statistics, though, we're the favorites. So let's get. Plus, they have never lost while I'm wearing this jersey, so I'm going to completely jinx it, of course, and lose this game right here. We're going to start off with 6 points, and that's just a few pixels away from the 3. So the Bonebows are going to take the lead here with 2 2-pointers. Of course, I completely lied. The game is, in fact, still drawing. I think that was only 3, so let's get another one out there. And the Sunrays are going to get a 3-pointer right there. Some wayward shots from the Bonebows. So 5 points for them. 3, 2, 1. So only 6 for the Sunrays. So it's still a tight game as we hit the halfway mark. And let's continue with our next 4 shots here. And look at this cluster from the Bone Bows. 2 target blocks and 2 ones. Meanwhile, just 1 target block and a 2. Still going to be pretty close at 7-8. So the game is going to go back to being tied with just 4 shots to go. And we are tied at 19. Very exciting down to the wire action here. And that's 2 3-pointers from the Sunrays. But the Bone Bows got it as well. The 2-pointer here for the Bone Bows against just 2. The words are not wording, but the Bone Bows have won by 1. And of course I've jinxed it. And I don't have anything to say about that. It is very annoying that we have gone and lost yet another game. But it is what it is, and we will continue. So the Sunrays putting up an impressive 27 points, but the Bone Bows able to do one better, 28-27. And the Sunrays losing streak continues. I think we've only won, like, outright those first 2 games in the beginning of cycle 1 and week 1 and week 2. It is now week 8, and we haven't won a single game since. Yeah, that's bad. That's why we currently sit in the relegation zone, but we are almost halfway through this thing. If you've enjoyed so far, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right back into it. On to matchup number 6, which is the last place Gapplers up against third to last Whitewoods. And here we go for matchup number 6, which is going to start off some very opposite side clusters here. All those are low. That one's not even in, so only 3 points for the Gapplers. Meanwhile, a 3-ball for the Whitewoods along with 3 more. So game will start. Whitewoods up 6-3. And we get right back into our next 4 shots here. Another wild cluster from the Gapplers. That one's going to be a 3-pointer, though, with a 2 and 2 ones. So a fairly impressive 7 points from the Gapplers. Meanwhile, the Whitewoods, is that a 3? Yes, it is. You can see the sliver of the point of the arrow here that inching into the 3 zone. So 2 target blocks for the Whitewoods and a 1. So that's 7 apiece, actually. So the Whitewoods will maintain their lead here. At the halfway mark, it's a Whitewoods 13 to the Gapplers 10. Pretty low scoring game thus far. And it will continue to be so, as that is a 2. Either of those are 3s, so 3 2s, another 7 for Gapplers, and just 6 for the Whitewoods. So it'll be a pretty close one going into the last 4 shots here. Final 4 shots now. And Gapplers down by 2, needing a miracle, and that is not going to be it. The Whitewoods. 2 target blocks, 2 wood blocks, that is 8 points for the Whitewoods. Meanwhile, the Gapplers not able to put together any more than 6, so the Whitewoods will take the win here. And it's a scoreline of 23-27. And the Whitewoods, even if they grab a medal here, which currently they share the bronze, they could see possibly a way out of relegation. And it's yet another loss for the Gapplers. They've only won, I think, 1 outright all season long. And they continue to sit in last place. And I do believe I have one person who said, at least on the first video, that they like the Gapplers. So if that person continues to watch, I'm so sorry. And I guess I'm in your boat because the Sunrays only really have 2 more points than the Gapplers. But we are on to match number 7, which is the Hivemind against the Phantoms. And let's just get right into it. Match number 7, starting up with our first 4 shots. Oh, look at the spread here from the Hivemind. That is that one? Oh my goodness. I don't want to get too close. That is just a millimeter away from the target block. So that is only 2 points plus another 3, so 5 points for the Hivemind. And the Phantoms are going to get a 3-pointer here with a 2 and a 1, so that's 6 for them. And I just realized I was doing no commentary. 6 points for the Hivemind, and then some low shots here for the Phantoms. So the Hivemind are gonna swap here and just take the lead from the Phantoms, who were only able to score 4 at halftime. And the Hivemind are now the team up by 1 with 8 shots to go. Are either of those threes? That is, and so is that. So the Hivemind taking off with their lead. 8 points there for them, and just 5 for the Phantoms. The Hivemind extending their lead going into the final 4 shots. And it's 19-15. I was about to say all but lost, but look, the Phantoms have just sunk 2 3-pointers and 2 arrows in the dirt for the Hivemind. Just 2 points. That is possibly the worst round of disparchery I think I've ever seen from any team. And the Phantoms, from out of nowhere, score 8 points and take the win away from the Hivemind. Although you have to argue that they kind of deserved it. I mean, who scores 2 points and still expects to win the game? They were in the lead by 4, and now it's over. Although it was low scoring, the Phantoms are going to secure their second win in a row, 23-21. And we've got just 5 matches to go, so let's get right into it. Now on to matchup number 8. We got the Lush Dwellers against the Edge. So the Edge are in 4th place, but the Lush Dwellers are sitting pretty low, just above the relegation zone. Hoping to get a win here to stay out of that. And the Lush Dwellers are going to get that's a 3 and a 2, so 6 points. And meanwhile, for the Edge, you can see it clips there, the corner of the 3-pointer. So that's 2 target blocks, a hay, and a wood. So that is 9 whole points for the Edge. So they will start off with the lead. And it's 9-6 here as we get on to our next round of shots. And another 2 3-pointers from the Edge. That is hitting the wood. That is in the wood. And just, oh my goodness, people are determined to do poor. It's the Lush Dwellers with just 3 points. That is terrible. Why did I stop sprinting? There we go. And that is another 8 points for the Edge, so they could be going for a medal here. If they continue on that track, they've basically already won the game. But they need more high scoring to earn a medal, and they're going to continue another 2 3-pointers, and this time accompanying it with 2 hay bales for 10 whole points. And that is just a 1, so it is 6 in response from the Lush Dwellers, not even enough to keep up. And I've just realized I forgot to show the scoreboard the whole time. There it is, my bad. And we are on to our last 4 shots here. Oh my goodness, that's 3! We are seeing the record being broken. The Edge with 3. That is another 10 points. So 37, blowing the previous record of 33 out of the water. And I don't even, I basically don't even need to count this. That's 2 2s. So that is 7 points from the Lush Dwellers. A decent score of 22. Not even close enough to beat 37, though. A 15-point win from the Edge. So the Lush Dwellers just 22 points to the Edge's 37. And the Edge surely will get the gold for that performance. But I've said that before, especially last week. That was a wild 260. I'm gonna continue to come back to that. That was just insane. But we've got just a third of this video left. If you've enjoyed so far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And of course, more simulator action in the future, not just in Minecraft, but for real sports. I got college football and then world football. We got other things as well. A lot of things planned. I was gonna say not a lot of time, but I guess I do have all the time I really need. But yeah, hoping to, my next goal is 200 subscribers, so it'd be nice to get to that. So yeah, make sure to subscribe and like if you liked if you like it. Yeah, push the thumbs up button underneath this video if your eyeballs watch this and say yes. So I don't know. Okay, we are on to matchup number 9. The Detonators against the Pillagers. And it is 0-0, all tied up, ready to go for the first round of shots. Surely we won't see something as crazy as we did last match. Neither of those are a 3. So that is just 4 points from the Pillagers. Wow. And that is a 3, just clipping the edge there of the target block. So that is going to be 6 points for the Detonators to start us off. Let's get right back into our next round of shots. As the Detonators will hit a 3-pointer and just 2 more, so only 5 points there. And then, but just 3 points from the Pillagers. We're seeing some low scores and some high scores, I guess, all around. I feel like it wasn't this drastic last time. But, yeah. So despite the Detonators just having 11 points, the Pillagers have just 7, although it's not going to be that much for long. Sorry about the pause. I was looking at this. Oh my goodness, 10 points for the Pillagers. And that might even see them take the lead. No, that is going to see a tie because the Pillagers, or the Detonators, are going to score 6 more points here, which is going to take them to 17. And 10 points for the Pillagers also takes them to 17. So it's all tied up in the 4th quarter here. Get our shots off rapid fire. Is that a 3-pointer? Yes, it is. So is that. Is that hitting the board? That will be the game if it is. I cannot tell. I'm going to say it is because, like, you can see it's over the line, kind of, but I know that's just because of the perspective. Oh my goodness, that is impossible to tell. I think we had something like this last time. I do not remember what decision I came to. I'm going to call that in because we don't really see where this corner is, where it's hitting the ground, or, like, I think this edge is being caused by the wall and not by the, like, shape of the arrow. So that is going to be a 1-point win for the Detonators. My decision just gave the win to the Detonators. The Pillagers would have at best scraped together a draw. So I'm going to make that decision and hope it's right. I mean, who is going to call me out, you know? I guess call me out in the comments if you want, but I own this league and my rules goes. So I I don't know. I'm not joking, of course, but yeah. So the Detonators are going to take a 1-point win, and the Detonators getting that dub by a scoreline just a low scoring 23-22. Enough for the win, not enough for the medal. Edge currently on gold with 37. I think it was the Jockeys who had 32 for silver, and then I think it's the Copper Golems 28 who currently hold bronze. The Bone Bows also on 28, so it's a shared bronze at the moment, but we will see if that changes. We've got just 3 matches to go. Let's get right back into it. Now we are on to matchup number 10, which is the Savannah Cats against the Cherries. And the Savannah Cats currently sitting in just 6th. At one point, they were leading this thing, but now they have fallen off, and they're not going to get off to a good start here. Just 4 points here. And the Cherries, 9, unless that is 10 points for the Cherries to start us off. Holy cow. So a very impressive start from the Cherries. But I wouldn't put anything past a comeback here if that were to happen. Those are both 2, so 6 points for the Savannah Cats. But it's another 3 bullseyes. That one is in the dirt, but it's another 9 points for the Cherries, so they're up to 19. And if any team is going to make a run at the gold medal, it's going to be the Cherries for no reason other than what those words that just came out of my mouth. And the Cherries are up by 9 here. Are they going to get more points on the board? That is indeed a 3-pointer, as is that. So another 9 from the Cherries. Oh my goodness. And that is just 4 there from Savannah Cats. They're falling farther and farther behind here in this game. The Cherries are going to need another 9 points to even tie the gold medal. And it doesn't look like they're going to get that, but they are going to securely grab themselves silver as the Savannah Cats put up 7 points there. So the Savannah Cats will fall with just 21 points to their name, I guess. I mean, that's not a bad score. I mean, it is a bad score. Usually the teams that score 21 lose. But if you have a team score 30, there's not really much you can do against that. And it's 34 points for the Cherries to take the win over the Savannah Cats and the silver medal, which gets rid of that shared bronze that we had earlier. And now the bronze is securely in the hands of the Jockeys with 32. 2 games to go. Let's get right back into it, as we are on to matchup number 11, which is the Diamondeers against the Royal Hogs. Both teams sitting pretty low on the table. So a win, especially one, if they somehow manage to grab a medal, that would be pretty good. That's one, but that is not a 3-pointer. So 8 points for the Royal Hogs to start us off. And just 4 here for the Diamondeers. So yeah, something pretty special needed for a medal, but a win nonetheless would do either of these teams well. That is... Oh, that could not even be a 2-pointer. That is like literally, if I highlight this block, that is literally on the line. I don't know what to call that. I'm going to call that good. If it's like right on the line, that is crazy. I'm going to call that good. So that's a 2-pointer. So 8 points from the Diamondeers and just 4 for the Royal Hogs. So they switch back and forth, and now they're tied at halftime as the score is 12 apiece with 8 shots to go. But oh my goodness, 3 target blocks for the Royal Hogs will see them score 10, and that could be the game over right there. They're up by 3. Crazier things have happened, crazier comebacks, but I think they've managed to hold off the Diamondeers here, scoring another 8 points to just the Diamondeers 6. So the Diamondeers 24, decent score, but not enough to beat the Royal Hogs 30. Wrong buttons again, and the Royal Hogs, despite putting up a pretty decent number, not enough to earn a medal, but it is a win nonetheless, a much needed one at that. And we have just 1 game left to go here, and it is the Sniffers up against the Violets. And we are ready to go here for our final matchup. The Sniffers just recently escaping the relegation zone, but the Violets are actually just 1 spot ahead of them. So this could be a competitive match for the Cobblestone Cup, or even winning the championship in the future. And those two are right next to each other, but neither of them are in a 3. 8 points from the Violets to start us off, and it is 7 from the Sniffers. So a close one to start. And we continue with our second round for the second quarter. And is that a 3? It is not, but it is a 2 by the hair on the arrow, or I guess the shape of the arrow means it's a 2. So that is 7 points for the Sniffers yet again. That's a 2, 3. So another 7 for the Violets. They will keep their 1-point lead here. And there's the scoreboard for you at halftime. 14-15 now, as we get into our third round, third quarter. And that is 6 points for the Sniffers. And that 2-pointer, is this one in the board? Yes, it is, clearly. I don't know what I'm thinking. So that is 7. The Violets, they're going to extend their lead by 1, but they're still only up by 2. 4 shots to go. Could mean anything here. 22-20 is the score. It's been decent overall from both teams. Not a whole lot of misses. And that is going to be another 7 from the Violets. Were the Sniffers able to top that? I don't think so. That is just another 7 as well. So the Violets will take the win in a high-scoring game. So in our final matchup of the day, the Violets will take the win over the Sniffers, 29-27. And thank goodness the Sniffers lost. I was kind of getting tired of them winning all the time. So yeah, that is that. And let's now hand out our medals, which I'm pretty sure were done and dusted earlier. So there we have it, folks. Here are our medals right here. The Edge, of course, in gold with the record holding now 37 points. The Cherries scoring 34 against the Savannah Cats, and all the way down in our first match of the week here, we had the Jockeys winning over the Chargers 32-22. So let's see how that affects our standings. So now this is how the table looks after 8 weeks of play. The Chargers in first, but the Edge are catching them. The Edge actually have 1.5 golds. So that is what they have 1.5 gold medals. They got half a gold medal when they in wrangling. And they just received their second now, I guess, first full gold medal. But as you can see, they could possibly catch the Chargers if they get another one of those. Gold medal's worth 10 points and cycle's worth 20. Plus, they've done pretty well so far this cycle. They're 2 for 2. So if they continue to win the cycle, they could even, or if they continue to win this cycle, they could win the cycle. So that would be a lot of points for them. And the Edge, watch out for the Edge in the coming weeks here. And so now, and then we also have the Tridents on 25, Flyers 23.5, Bone Bows 23, Savannah Cats 20.5, Violets 19.5, Cherries with the silver medal jumping up to 19, Copper Golems on 17.5, and the Detonators on 17, rounding out the top 10. Sniffers drop down to 11th on 16. Jockeys with that bronze medal also up to 16. The Whitewoods escape relegation now on 7 points. And now it's the Lush Dwellers, the Hivemind, the Sunrays, and the Gapplers who are sitting in the relegation zone 3. These 3 bottom teams did not get a win. All 4 of these did not get a win this week. And they will desperately need one as we approach after next week. It'll be halfway through the season. I can't believe we're already going to be halfway through the season already. That kind of feels crazy to say. But I hope if anyone has watched this at all, which no one did last week, which makes me sad. But as of the recording now, I have 0 views on the last video. So if you have enjoyed this one, make sure to go back and watch last week first for context on how everyone got to where they are now. If you want to have a team of your own in the Sim League next season, if I were to do a next season, just comment down below an idea for a team name, and you will get a shout out plus a banner, and you will be one of the teams that is in proposal to join the Sim League next season. For a chance at that, make sure to comment down below. And then, yeah, that is pretty much it. Chargers still in charge, but I'm not sure for how much longer if they continue to lose the way they have this week. This is the first week I wore my Sunrays jersey and we lost, so that's kind of sad. But you know, we stay positive. We go on to next week wrangling, my favorite sim sport, of course, with the cows. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, make sure to subscribe and tune back in next week for week 9 of the Sim League. And with that, I thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and see ya.